YouTube, what is going on? Wingman here. Welcome back to another video. Today is a different video. I haven't done one of these in a very long time. I'm doing a bit of a commentary, I guess you could say, not a live commentary on a Battlefield, but just a regular commentary. And what I'm going to be really talking about, I got a topic for today is I'm going to be talking about, the general progression of Battlefield games and how it's been over the last few years. So, there wasn't really a mid game, like a mid Battlefield game that really kicked off the series. Battlefield's really been like a stone, like like very strong game ever since its existence, really back when it came out in 2002. And Battlefield has been a very big success over the last few years, or like that last decade, I should say, I guess, decade and a half. Um, So the first game that ever came out in Battlefield Hardline was Battlefield 1942. That game was so great. Everybody liked it. It was a PC exclusive, and it really brought that kind of like World War II feeling to the gaming franchise, kind of. But as Battlefield progressed, you started to know that like, people liked it, of course. There's always people that like a certain game. But then you also can realize that more and more people, well, not a lot, but still a little more and more here coming here and there, start to complain about Battlefield and how it's, not been kind of what the game was before. When in reality, I don't really know if the game ever really got worse or anything like that. I just kind of think the game has just gotten in ways, yes, it gotten a little bit old around like 13 years ever since the beginning, and it may not have like that once thrill factor it really once did by changing kind of. But I don't think there really has been a really bad Battlefield game, to be honest. Like, I've been playing Battlefield. I didn't actually get to play Battlefield 1942 for two reasons. First off, I was too young, and second reason, it was because I wasn't a PC gamer. I never really have been a PC gamer. I've played PC on occasions, but not often. And so the first game that I really kind of played was Battlefield 1943, and that game I think as was the fourth Battlefield game. And it was the first, if I'm correct, the first console Battlefield game. And that game was so great. I liked it. It was definitely one of those milestone Battlefield games. But there is just those people that are always, complaining about, games in general. That like the past is like where there's no complaining, and then the kind of like the present and future is when there is a lot of complaining. But when I actually just don't like, I think maybe people do have their own opinions on Battlefield, but I don't really think Battlefield really ever did get worse. I think maybe like I can understand why people are getting upset, but at the same time though, what made this franchise really great is what kind of like they were sticking to and what they were being loyal towards. But some people started to get upset because they didn't think that Battlefield was the same it was before. And we kind of did start to realize that towards, I'd say, maybe Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, somewhere along that period of time. Besides that, nobody ever complained. But to another topic, well, not really another topic, but my favorite Battlefield, it's actually very debatable because to me, Battlefield has always actually stayed true to its game. It's never been they've never tried to like bait people in to like buy like certain stuff in the game. Like if they do have microtransactions, they don't really like overdose. And if they have downloadable content, they release some, but not with like high expectations kind of. And and yeah, but anyways, I think my favorite Battlefield would have to be a comparison between Battlefield 1943 and Battlefield Bad Company. Those games were really great. I loved those Battlefields. Definitely two of the best ones. And Battlefield has never really also been like kind of like a futuristic, like Battlefield Hardline, for example. It is you can kind of think it's futuristic. Like you can kind of break it as present, kind of, because of cops and robbers and hacking. That's all kind of like present things, everything that we do today. But Battlefield hasn't always been in the future. Like there was a PC exclusive called Battlefield 2142, and that was a PC exclusive that was based in the future, as you can already predict from the title. And I don't really actually like futuristic games, but it really depends on what the game really is, because that game, Battlefield 921, excuse me, 42, really didn't like change much. It really kind of stayed true to the Battlefield franchise, and it was, sticking to what Battlefield was and what it was going to become in the near future. So I couldn't really have any hate to it, as I've only played it a few decent amount of times. I never really exceeded any expectations to Battlefield 2142, which I never was able to get a full opinion on the game. Well, but the really main reason of why I'm talking about this is, people do complain about the Battlefield franchise. Some people think that Battlefield is not complain whatsoever, but no, it is complain. And the Battlefield hardline kind of player count actually does really kind of show that reference. It's because Battlefield Hardline, I actually just don't think it really was a bad game. I think the thing that it failed on was, first off, like the lack of content. Not that they didn't put out like enough content, but how expensive their content really was. Because I think maybe if their content right now was half off of what it is right now, then maybe that it would start getting a lot more sales because of the kind of like somewhat poor player count. Because I don't know if any of you guys are familiar, but what my friends have been telling me, as far as everybody is concerned, Battlefield has between 10,000 and 20,000 players, which really isn't that good. Well, at least it's on the Xbox One is what I'm saying. I don't really know much about any other consoles, but besides that, that's what the Xbox One is. But that many players doesn't really lead to a lot of problems if people still like the game, because they're able to find, a good server to play on. They're able to find a good community, and in general, that's why they're able to have fun without, being problems with this kind of, server problems. Or no, player count problems. That's what I was trying to say. But, kind of, that's kind of the thing, people, like, that's kind of the thing with most video games is, there is a lot of change with some video games, and that's sort of what it's been like in Battlefield Hardline. But that's the thing, some people don't like change. A lot of people don't like change, and when you start having change, some people say, "Well, I prefer the old Battlefield." It kind of just seems like creators, EA, Dice, and all those great companies. They're trying to impress their audience, kind of, but at the same time, though, they might seem like they impress the audience by all the feedback they get. But at the same time, though, there will always be a group of haters on any game in the present right now and the mid future that'll think, this game isn't good. I prefer the old one. That's kind of the way it has been before. But Call of Duty and Battlefield have really had like their kind of like kind of what universal kind of like handpicked like wars, kind of, not necessarily like real wars like fighting stuff like that, just like, yeah, you get the point. Like, out of that, I actually prefer Battlefield because of how loyal they've really been to their franchise, because Call of Duty has been changing drastically, and it's added all these things that people haven't wanted, like of course ASD and microtransactions, and yeah, all that stuff. But anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. So yeah, Battlefield is kind of in a bit of a, not really weird, but like different kind of spot because, this game is just very, very loyal, in my opinion at least. But, there will always be, that group of haters that it really kind of seems. But in my opinion, there really has not been bad Battlefield game. There really hasn't exactly been that for me at least. I enjoy Battlefield Hardline. I think one more thing that Battlefield Hardline kind of screwed up on was like the overall like protagonist and antagonist because cops and robbers seem a little bit like over simple kind of. That's like kind of like the basis of that's like the main basis of protagonist and antagonist. And having cops and robbers in a game as the protagonist and antagonist seems a little bit far-fetched kind of from the Battlefield series, which we've never seen before, kind of. But, I don't really, in my personal opinion, I don't really think this game has failed. I still play it. I still want to upload this game on my channel. But a lot of people have different and opposite opinions from that statement. And, I really do hope, future Battlefield games don't exactly like change like too drastically because the movement in Battlefield has always been the same. It's never changed one bit. You've always been on the ground. You've never been able to jump all over the place like a bunny rabbit. It's always been the same. It's always a basic human being, a very simple and reliable human being walking around, shooting, killing, capturing, doing whatever he's got to do without having to, technology or no, having other technology, trying to help him do those things a lot easier, if you know what I mean. But I don't think Battlefield Hardline also deserves a sequel. I kind of think this game was a little bit far-fetched from having a sequel because yeah, and also the player count and some of the feedback it's actually been getting. I really don't think this game will or it should get a sequel. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you guys prefer. If you guys prefer Battlefield or Call of Duty, I'd love to hear your opinions. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Wingman out.